A lot of people ask me, when should I use the handbrake at lights, or should I even bother using the handbrake at traffic lights? So that's what I'm going to cover in this driving lesson video here. How you should approach the lights with the gears, whether or not you should use the handbrake, and some tips on taking off as well. If you want to learn how to be a better driver and ultimately pass that test, then why not subscribe to this channel? And let me know in the comment section if you have any questions or queries about driving, and I'll do my best to answer those questions in the comments section. So back to this video on traffic lights and handbrake. As a general rule, you should use the handbrake whenever you're stopped on a hill, if the hill is facing uphill. If you're stopping to park, you should use the handbrake, and that includes stopping to let passengers into your car or allow passengers out of your car. You should also use the handbrake if you're at traffic lights, and also you should use the handbrake if you are stopped over 5 seconds, over 4 or 5 seconds. So any distance of time over 4 or 5 seconds, you should use the handbrake as well. Using the handbrake, or the parking brake as it's sometimes called, gives the car more security. And while you might think you're stopped on the flat, you could be on a slight hill, or perhaps in a slight piece of road that is an uneven surface, for example. And using the handbrake gives you more security, more stability, and it's very useful and safe in case you are shunted from behind. So if a car crashes into you from behind, the handbrake being up will ensure the brakes will lock and you won't be shunted forward in the hopefully unlikely event of a car crashing in behind you. You don't need to use the handbrake every single time you stop. Let's say, for example, you're only stopped for about a second or two, and that second or two you're stopped is on a slight downhill. You'll see what I mean now in this example here. So I'm coming down here, I'm just watching from my right here. This van looks like it could be coming, so I'll wait in first gear. Now I'm actually on a slight downhill here, so there's no real need for me to use the handbrake unless I'm stopped a long time. Looks like I might be stopped for a few seconds. I'll put it on there now. All good there now. So I was on a slight downhill there, so I wasn't in any rush to use the handbrake. I'm just going to go into the right lane there now, so I'll check my mirrors and indicate. Okay, he's let me go. Just double check the mirrors going across. So anyway, back there I was on a slight downhill. There wasn't an urgent need to use the handbrake, but I did eventually because I felt I was stopped over 4 or 5 seconds. When using the handbrake, for example at traffic lights, it's very important that you have your feet sorted out as well as you're waiting. And what I mean is, do not wait, if your handbrake is already up, do not wait with the foot on the foot brake as well. This is what I sometimes call double braking. There's no point in having your foot brake pressed when the handbrake is already up. It doesn't make any sense. You're better off waiting like this, where your right foot is over the accelerator, not pressing it or anything, but over the accelerator, so you're ready to give it a little press when the light eventually goes green. So your left foot can be on the clutch, as it's better to wait in first gear if you're at or near the top of the queue, and the right foot over the accelerator, and that means you're more ready to move off when the light eventually does turn green. If you're further back in the queue of traffic, so like if there's a big long queue and you're the 7th or 8th or 9th car, that's perfectly okay then to wait in neutral, because you'll have plenty of time to put it into gear when you see the traffic moving and the light going green further up. So if you're further back in the queue, let's say like even 4th or 5th back in the queue, you can wait in neutral. But if you're at or near the top of the queue at traffic lights, you should definitely wait in first gear then, so you're more ready to move off. Let's have some examples now from me when I was out driving earlier on today, approaching lights, stopped at lights and moving off at lights. So here it is. I'll be approaching a set of lights now soon. I don't know what colour it's going to be until I get there, and even when I see the light initially, it could change colour when I get down there. So as I can see, it's red, now it's gone green. So I'm going to go left, so I check the mirrors first and signal. Now my job is to get down the gear, so I'm in 4th, so 3rd gear, gently off the clutch. There, it's gone amber now, so I'm going to press stop. 2nd gear here now, and then off the clutch slowly. And then a nice gentle stop just before that white line there. Now I'm stopped at light, so I'll go handbrake first, and I'll wait in 1st gear. And by waiting in first gear, I'm more ready to go. And the handbrake is up for more security, even though it's fairly flat ground. Now the light's gone filter green, so I'll check the mirrors, and off I go. So a filter green light there is fine for me to go in the direction of the arrow, which was left. So there I had the handbrake up for security, and I was waiting in first gear, so I was ready to move off quicker. You see, I was first in the line there, I was first in the queue, so it's always better to be ready in first gear when you're at the top of the queue. Here I'm coming up to lights now, and it was red, but it's gone flashing amber up there now, so that means I can go provided there's no pedestrians. But the truck here is blocking pedestrians on my left, so I have to be careful as I come up to it. So I'm just checking the mirrors there, moving out. I'm just going to go into first gear here actually, making sure, yeah, there's nobody there. The light's green on it, so it should be okay. But because I was blinded there by the bin lorry, it was good there that I just moved out to give the bin lorry room, and I was aware that there could have been somebody waiting at the lights there, possibly being blinded. My view of them could have been blinded by the bin truck. So I'm coming around here, a few tight streets. There probably will be some lights around the bend here now. I can see now that it's green, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay green, and one of the lights is out, so I have to be more focused on the right lights here. But it all looks good, still green, no pedestrians there, everything's okay. And further up then we're going to have another set of lights at which I'll be going straight. At the moment I can see it's red. That doesn't mean it's going to stay red, but it's red at the moment, so I'm aware of that. Just moving out gradually. There it changes to green. So because it's just changed to green, it's not likely to change back to red, so I can stay in third gear, which I'm in, slowing down slightly. Doing a quick scan of the junction. Did that in third gear because the light had just turned to green, and there was no real need for me to go down to second gear there, as I had a clear way to go there. But I did scan the junction, just looked left and right just to make sure there was nobody there. Now we have another set of lights up here. Again, it's red, so I'm just going to move out gradually here for these parked cars. It's red at the moment, but again, that could be different when we get up there. I'll be taking a right at the lights. So I'll check my mirrors. I'll wait till I get past this entrance first. Check the mirrors, indicate right. Now I'm going to get down the gears, down to second gear. And if I am stopping, I'm going to be stopping just before that first white line there. So I'm just going to come in here a little bit, clutch it to stop, just straighten the car up a little bit. Finish the straight wheel. Now handbrake up the slight hill, wait in first gear. Again, I'm first in the queue. It's always better to wait in first gear when you're first in the queue here. Let's get the indicator back on there. So I'm in first gear here because I'm at the top of the queue. I'm conscious of these pedestrians here as well, and I'm also keeping an eye on any traffic that might be behind me. So there's pedestrians crossing there, but I'm not moving now, so it's okay. So waiting here for my green light then to turn right. And it's perfectly fine that my clutch is in now, by the way, because just because my clutch is in, it doesn't mean I'm coasting, because I can't be coasting if I'm not moving. So the clutch is in so the car doesn't conk out. I can have my hand resting on the handbrake like this if I wanted it. You don't really have to, but the car is perfectly safe and secure. I have one hand here on the wheel, so having a hand here could help me move off quicker if I was worried about moving off too slowly. And even while I'm waiting here, I'm kind of watching the junction, keeping an eye on the mirrors as well, briefly, and preparing for my stop. Noticing the yellow box there as well, so obviously I don't want to be stopping in that, so that's why the first white line is so important at traffic lights, to be aware of that first white line and always stop before the first white line, because it'll give you a better view of the lights. Because if you stop too far up this way, you might not be able to see the near side light here. You might see the far side, but then if one of the lights is broken, that's not a good place to stop, because you might be partially or temporarily blinded then, you see. So still waiting here. It is a little bit of school time, so you have to be conscious of pedestrians or students there crossing the road as well. And just waiting for my gap here then. So still in first gear, clutch still in waiting. A little bit of a hill, so I'll be getting a little bit of a bite here as I move off, so don't roll back. So there we go. So check the mirrors, bit of a bite, and off I go then. A little bit of juice, making sure the indicator is on, just giving that girl enough time to get across there. Now down I go then, straight to second gear, scanning the junction. This light here is fine as well, still green, and I continue on my way then. As I come across onto this new stretch, I always start off in the left lane, checking the mirror. So this light is green, a bit blinded by the white van there, so I'm conscious of any pedestrian that could be hiding behind that white van. So as I get up there, I'll just slow down slightly. I'm already in second gear, so second gear is good for the ramp. All good there, so second gear. I'm just going to come out a little bit there, the bus is blinding me a bit. Maybe look this way a little bit. Just making sure I'm not cutting anybody off. Now another pedestrian lights here, pedestrian crossing. So scan the junction, make sure there's no one crossing. We're all good by the looks of it. I'll continue on straight where I'll have another set of lights now very soon coming up here. So I'm conscious of my road markings here. I will be going straight at the next set of lights here. Will be going straight. So we'll have a look at what colour it is when we get around the bend. There you go, red. So it doesn't mean it'll stay red. I'm going to go into the right lane now to go straight. Quick flick of the indicator, just go into my right lane here. Going straight, so I'm going to slow down slightly, get down the gears. Second gear, it wasn't hard. Second gear, gently off the clutch. I'm going to stop now so I can clearly see the ground and the tyres of the van. So handbrake and first gear. So handbrake for security, so that if someone hits me from the back, I won't get shunted forward. And it's better because it keeps the car more steadier, it keeps the car very secure when the handbrake is up, in case there's any pedestrians or cyclists. So that's what I'm watching for as well as I'm waiting here, just for any pedestrians or cyclists. As you can see up there, the light has two different directions there. You've got the arrow for left and the full red light for straight. So I'm waiting for my full red light there to turn green, and then I can go. Waiting in first gear. There it is. Get the bite. Check the mirrors for any cyclists, pedestrians. All good. And off I go then straight in the second gear. The light's full green. And I'm just trying to let that van there, that white van there in front, I'm just trying to let him get a little bit further ahead of me there after the lights, because I can see further ahead now if I let him get further ahead of me, okay? So we'll be coming up to some pedestrian crossings here as well. I'm going to make a slight lane change to the left now, so just give him the mirrors there. I'm going to be going straight now. I see there's a person there. I think he might be crossing. I'm going to slow down slightly into second gear, and because I'm in second gear there, it's fine. So I want to let her get across the whole way there then. All fine, and off I go. So that's the advantage there of getting down to second gear for lights and pedestrian crossings, because if you're down in second gear, it makes it easier to do the ramp in second gear or the junction in second gear. And if it was traffic lights, you can take advantage then of a lucky green. So if that was a traffic lights and the light went green about 15-20 meters out, I can it can be quite useful that I'm down in second gear there, because it's a good gear to do in a slow speed, like about 25-30 kilometers like I'm doing now. So I'm coming up to the lights here now, and I see it's green. Now that doesn't mean it'll stay green, so I'm going to be taking a right up there at the lights. So I'll check my mirrors, I'll indicate, I'm going to slow down, get down to second gear. It's gone amber now, so I have plenty of time to stop there. So the amber light means stop, straighten up the car there now. I'll get the indicator back on quickly. The amber light means stop, provided I have time to stop, and I had there obviously. So I go to first gear, waiting in first gear, and I have a red light here, so that means stop. And when the light goes green, then I may be able to make my move, but I might only have a filter light, so I'll just check my mirrors now before I move off. Now the bus has right away, so I'm going to slowly move into the middle here, just so I don't give him less space. Slowly move into the middle. Getting the right indicator on, so I'm in the middle here now. So handbrake up, and because I'm in the middle, I'm a slight hill. It's better that I have the handbrake up there. It just avoids me potentially rolling back there. There's a few holes there, so I got a gap, yeah. In I go then. So because I had the handbrake up there, it felt easier to move off, because I was able to generate a bit of power by getting the bite, holding the bite, then letting the handbrake down, and off I went. So I had to roll up into the middle there to show good progress, and the handbrake was for security, and all the time I was waiting in first gear, because when you're first in the queue, it's better to wait in first gear. That way you can move off more promptly and more efficiently. We'll have another set of lights up here now. So I'm staying sort of central here because it's a one-way street. So central is well away from this curb on the right and well over a door end from the cars on the left here. So the lights now, I'll be taking a right turn. So I'll check my mirrors and indicate right. And then I'm in third. So I'll slow down slightly, get down to second gear. Just in case the light goes green at a convenient time, it's better to get down to second gear. If that light goes green now, I could just go in second gear, you see. Oh, there it is actually. So actually happened. So I'm in second gear. And because I got down the gears, I can just cruise on through in second gear. Quick scan of the junction. So that was quite convenient. I actually got, as I was saying, I got down to second gear there, and because I got down the gears properly, that meant when I got a lucky green, so that a lucky green is a light that goes green at exactly the right time, about 20-25 meters from the junction, I was just able to take advantage of that lucky green and go ahead, and everything was fine there. I had the right of way, I had all the green lights I needed there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, as it is good for my rankings on YouTube if my videos get more likes. If you have any questions about driving, let me know in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.